When my wife, Aisha, first said the words, I thought I had misheard her. She looked me in the eye and calmly said, "Let me meet my ex once more, then I'll be ready to have a family with you." My heart stopped for a moment. We had been married for 3 years, and we had spoken many times about building a family together. But never did I expect her to bring her ex into the picture. At first, I stayed silent, trying to process what she meant. She must have seen the disbelief on my face because she repeated herself, slower this time, as if I was a child who needed things explained carefully. The more I heard it, the more it felt like a knife twisting in my chest. She was essentially saying I wasn't enough until she closed some unfinished chapter with her ex. I asked her why she even wanted this, and she gave me a strange answer, "I just need closure. After that, I'll be completely yours." To her, it sounded reasonable. But to me, it was betrayal in its purest form. I had given her love, loyalty, and a life of stability. Yet, she was thinking about another man. That night, I didn't argue. I only nodded and told her I understood. But deep inside, I decided I would never beg for her loyalty. If she wanted to test me, I would test her too. I stayed awake, replaying her words again and again, and something inside me hardened. The next day, while she was at work, I began my own plan. I pulled out old contacts, friends I hadn't spoken to in years, and started reconnecting. One of them was Farah, a woman who had once liked me but stepped back when I got married. She had always respected boundaries, unlike my wife who was breaking hers now. I invited Farah for coffee, and as we talked, I realized how different she was from Aisha. She listened, she laughed, she respected me. I didn't cross any lines, but I couldn't help thinking about the cruel irony. Here was a woman who would have given me the world, while my wife was asking for permission to revisit her past. When Aisha returned that evening, she smiled at me as if nothing had happened. She told me she planned to meet her ex the coming weekend. I forced a smile and told her she had my blessing. She looked relieved, but she didn't notice the fire burning in my eyes. The weekend came, and she left, dressed carefully, as if going on a date. I watched her walk out without a word. While she was gone, I prepared my revenge. I gathered photos, text messages, and notes, proof of her request, and I shared the story with my closest family members. If she wanted to play games, she would do so under the light of truth, not in shadows. When she came back, she was strangely quiet, as though something hadn't gone as she expected. Maybe her ex had rejected her, or maybe she felt guilty. But before she could explain, I placed a folder on the table. Inside were the printed copies of her words, the messages where she admitted she wanted to see him again. She turned pale. "You told people?" she asked in shock. I didn't answer directly. Instead, I told her calmly, "A wife who needs her ex to be ready for a future with me is not a wife at all. You want closure. Then consider this closure." I packed my bags that night. She begged me to stay, said it was a mistake, that she only wanted to see him one last time and that nothing happened. But trust once broken doesn't heal so easily. I walked away from our home, leaving her behind with her regrets. Weeks later, I heard through mutual friends that she tried to reach out to her ex again, but he wasn't interested. She had gambled and lost both men. Meanwhile, I had quietly continued seeing Farah, slowly getting to know her again. She respected me enough not to rush, and for the first time, I felt valued without conditions. My revenge wasn't about anger, it was about walking away with dignity and letting her realize what she had thrown away. In trying to keep one foot in the past, she destroyed her future. And I, the man she thought would wait patiently, had already chosen a life where I no longer had to beg for loyalty. In the end, her closure became my freedom. She was left with memories, and I walked forward with strength, determined never again to settle for someone who couldn't see my worth. That was the true revenge, living a better life without her.